How do I find good local computer help? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. Here's a question that I get from time to time. My computer has a problem that I've not been able to figure out. I don't even know how to ask the question. What I'd like to do is take it to someone local, but I don't know who to trust. Should I go to one of the chain stores, office supply stores? If not, how do I find someone that I can actually trust with my time, my money, and my data? Yeah, sometimes someone needs to physically look at your computer to diagnose whatever's ailing it. There's only so much that can be done over email or phone or even remote access. And again, only with someone you trust. They can't handle every situation. Sometimes there's no substitute for what I facetiously refer to as laying hands on the device. Finding hands you can trust is hard. In many ways, we're struggling with the same issues we encounter when trying to find reputable online resources, except that this time there's even more at stake. Hands-on professional technical support can be expensive. It could even surpass the cost of the computer itself. You're also putting your security and privacy at risk when giving a technician unfettered access to your computer so that they can do the job you're asking them to do. My advice is to start by looking for local advice. Particularly when it comes to local tech support, I'd ask around. Ask your friends with computers who they use and what their experience has been. Look for local computer help groups. Often libraries and senior centers have one. Ask for recommendations from the attendees. Go to a local computer store, ideally also a local store, not a chain, that does not provide service itself, and ask who they recommend. What you may find is that some of those free resources might be enough to help you right then and there. For example, my local senior center has a computer lab with specific hours during which volunteers are ready and willing to help anyone, not just members, not just seniors, with their computer problems. If they can't help, they'll have recommendations for where to go locally. I advise against a generic online search with terms like computer repair for your location. The problem is that search results, and specifically the order of the search results, have nothing to do with the quality of the service. We've seen this all too often lately. Fake and other questionable sites and sources can still rank highly in search results. Instead, look into services like Yelp or its equivalent, though to be sure, it's watch out for sponsored results, which are nothing more than ads. What's important here is that the service ratings provided by other users. This approach is not perfect by any means, but it can provide you valuable data you can review to make a more informed choice, particularly if you're in a hurry. Now, while this doesn't guarantee success, I see it as a way to stack the odds in your favor. Use generic searches only as a last resort, and even then with a healthy dose of skepticism. If you can, vet what you find against the recommendations and experiences of others who've used the service you're considering. Now, computer services offered by the larger chains, computer support chains, as well as office supply and related stores, they seem to be a coin toss. Some are excellent and above board. Others, not so much. There are periodic accusations that the big chains are more about charging you for things you don't need than helping you solve the issues that you have. Since the quality varies so dramatically, if you are considering going to a chain store, I suggest you go back to step one and look for local advice. Ask local folks who've used that chain store for computer-related issues what their experience was. Were they treated well, and did they feel like they received good value? Because it is such an unknown, I've actually stopped recommending the major chains and favor working towards finding someone local you can trust. One of the problems I face, of course, is that I rarely need this type of help that I'm talking about. When I have issues, I typically deal directly with wherever I got the computer from. These days, that'd be Apple or Dell or Puget Systems. Naturally, that's not local support at all. This video exists because someone asked me the question, and to be blunt, I didn't have an answer. Even updating this video and its companion article several years later, That hasn't changed. I have no specific recommendation for a good local computer service and repair resource, and that frustrates me. It's not that they don't exist here, I'm sure that they do. It's just that I have no one to point people to. When it came down to helping a friend, I relied on Yelp to come up with some semi-qualified recommendations. Not only is good help hard to find, but good help costs money. I mentioned it before. Sometimes it's quite a bit. That's a dilemma. When your computer might cost more to fix than to replace, things get frustrating, particularly when the problem being fixed is in software, implying that no computer hardware is required at all. There's really no blanket recommendation I can make here either. All I can say is that good support is worth good money. And replacing a computer brings its own set of issues and additional costs, including transferring your data, getting used to a new version of the operating system, reconfiguring all your settings, and installing or replacing all your applications. These hidden costs are paid either to a person you pay or in the form of your own time. Like a good car mechanic, taking the time and paying a little more money to establish a relationship with a good local computer repair technician can have lasting benefits. In many ways, I just really don't have a qualified answer. Ask around, while I'm sure it's valuable, really does seem insufficient. If you've found qualified local source for help, I'd like to know how you found them. Now, to be clear, I am not asking for specific recommendations. Any links to specific service and repair recommendations will be removed from the comments. The problem is not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust the spammers. Asking that question is an invitation for spammers, and I have no way to vet them all. Besides, since any recommendation you might make would be local to you, it would help only a very small portion of the global Ask Leo audience. But the techniques you use to find qualified local help, that will help everybody. Post a comment with your experience and your tips. For updates, for those comments, and for links related to this article, visit askleo.com/25661. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.